Hello. I hope you're ready to receive some transformational knowledge, information, however you want to call it. Before we start, I would like to recommend you that you're looking for a place where you really feel comfortable. I can see in your chart, this should be a place where you have control over the room. So maybe, a room with only one door that you can close and inform the others, hey, I'm going to need some minutes, maybe an hour, to really focus on something. Obviously, some place where you feel safe. And maybe you put your phone on airplane mode that nothing can distract you. I also would like you to just listen in the first time. You don't need to take notes because you can always re-listen again and again and again. Just take it all in, soak it up, let it sink. Maybe you listen again to it with your partner or friends. That can be helpful too, obviously. And the next thing is, please don't believe anything I say. I don't want to give you a new ideology or dogma or belief system or anything like that. I just read your chart. I read what is in your chart, what human design claims you to be, so to say. And at the end, it's about you experimenting with this, validating it for yourself. And if it works, stick with it. If not, let it go. The first thing that I see when I look at your chart is you are a powerhouse. I mean, there's so much energy, there's so much power. This can be tricky. But what I also see is your type. And your type is a generator. To be more precise, you are a true manifesting generator. There's a lot of myths online about this type and that it's a unique own type, and it's not in that sense. It is a generator. A generator is a generator is a generator. But you have some aspects in your chart that make you a manifesting generator. And that means you have some potential to manifest, to bring something into reality, to go into action after your response. Okay, so you have the same qualities like a generator with a little bit of nuances here and there. And I will go into this in a moment. But first of all, I want you to understand that the majority of humans on this planet are generators. So around 60 to 70% are generators. That means, you are an earthling. I mean, you are born on a planet that is about generators, about generating stuff, about creating stuff, building stuff. It's about sexuality and reproduction and about flow and resources and all of this generator themes. So you should feel quite comfortable in this world. You don't feel alien in this world. You feel like, this is my world and I can play. This is your playground, so to say. The next thing that is very important to understand is your aura. Because now as a type, and what our mind usually is doing is, type is a box, it's a case, or I don't know, this is a category, but it's not. It is literally just a term for describing how you interact unconsciously with the world. It's invisible how you do this because it's your aura. Your aura is the one of a generator. Your aura has a description of open and enveloping. Okay? So you have a very vulnerable aura. That means everybody can enter your aura. Everybody can come and put their stuff into your energy field. And you cannot really protect yourself with this. And I know there is a lot of spiritual texts that say you can protect yourself, just create a golden egg and this and that. Okay, but this is all mind. So before we go deeper, I need to shock you a bit, and I guess you're equipped to be shocked because you have this in your chart. There is no protection. Because everything that is mind, everything we think we are, everything we perceive and interpret and measure, this and that, the reality on its own, this is all just an illusion. So at the end of the day, there is no choice. There is no choice. You cannot just choose what you're going to do, because you will only choose what already has been chosen for you. This is a big shocker, but it's important to really surrender to your body, because it's about the body. Human design is the most yin system I've ever encountered and maybe is existing on this planet. This is only about your body, your vehicle, your vessel that goes through time and space, and is often, because we're so much in the mind, it's often just not heard, is often left somewhere. Yeah, I will go to the toilet later, but now I'm busy with doing this. Yeah, I need to eat. I hear you, my little stomach, but I need to do this first. We don't give room and space for our body. We are not surrendered to our body like, for example, animals are or children are. We get very trapped in our mental stories, trying to be something, trying to get somewhere, trying to solve problems, trying to do this and that real quick because of, and so on. So the first rule and the first principle is for life, to have a successful life, is whenever you try to convince yourself doing something, don't do it. Whenever you hear yourself, I need to do, I want to do, I could do, I should do, I must do, it's always your mind. It's never your body. Your body is not vocal in that sense. It doesn't measure. It doesn't give you logical, we should do this because it brings you that. No. Your mind has nothing to do with this. The mind is never an inner authority to make any kind of decision. Okay? So you have this open and enveloping aura. You can do nothing about this, and it's perfect and it's beautiful and it's exactly what you need to have in this life to fulfill your purpose, to fulfill your role in the greater image, so to say. And that also means that you will envelop others. Your aura feels like a bear hug. It feels like warm. It feels cozy. Your hug can let people in and they feel home. Your aura is 2 arm lengths in all directions, like a sphere around you. And your aura will condition others, and obviously because others have auras too, with a similar size, they will condition you. This is the whole principle of human design, that we understand there is conditioning everywhere we go. Every insect, every tree, every bee, everything can condition us. But obviously, humans are the great conditioners for us, that really create something that is distorted, and we live out something that is not us. So, if your aura is open and so vulnerable, and you envelop everything, you embrace everything, you need to be careful who you take in. You need to be careful who is close to you and who shouldn't be close to you. And to do that, you need to have some kind of mechanism that tells you what is correct for you and not correct for you. And correct just means this is a thing you can deal with without having a harmful experience. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's wonderful and beautiful and all of this. No, it can be ugly, it can be challenging, but it is correct for your path in life. And that authority, the thing that helps you to make decisions, is based on your sacral center. It's 2 fingers below your navel. This is your sacral center. We don't talk about chakras here. This is centers, very different. We have a synthesis in human design. And we will talk about the sacral center in a bit deeper. But for now, just know your authority, your inner authority, with what you can make decisions, or actually what makes decisions and you need to listen to, in the best case, is your sacral center. And the sacral center is almost like a diaphragm. It opens up or it closes. It's active or it's not active. And it has a sound. This is the great magic that you can experience in your life. It has a sound. So if somebody asks you, would you like to have ice cream today? And you go, this means it's correct. This means you have energy to do this. This means it will be the right time, the right moment with the right people. Step by step by step by step, from moment to moment to moment to moment. Why do I say this? Because you are existential. You are so existential, you cannot think about tomorrow. I mean, you can, but you should not think about tomorrow. I know it's hard with kids, but your nature is not made for that. Your nature is made for being in the now. Only be in the now. Purely existential. Absolutely existential. In the now is everything you need. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. And how does this work? I mean, your aura is open and enveloping, but also it's magnetic, it's attractive, it sucks in everything that is there around you, and you will respond to it. So you can see it's like you have this magnetizing aura, and you have a mechanism inside of you that is responding to it. This is your strategy. This is where you can focus your mind on to bypass your mental bullshit, to really get connected to your body and your truth, to go and walk a path that is correct for you. Wait to respond. And now people tell me, I cannot wait. You crazy? I need to initiate. I need to go there. I need to make this. And who pays the rent? Yeah, well, I know all this mental blah, blah, blah. But I lived this radically since almost 7 years now. And I can tell you it works. It works. Just wait. Do the opposite of everything you ever tried. Because I think you never tried waiting in your life. Never. Maybe 5 minutes. But did you really try to surrender to your body? Did you really wait for love to come? Did you really wait for a new job to just pop up in front of you? Did you really wait for friendship? Did you really wait for what food you should eat and when you should eat and where? I guess you did not. I guess you go to the restaurant, you just order what you think you want. And every time, it's a 50-50 chance. You like it or you get frustrated and angry and the whole trip is bad again. It's saturated with frustration and dissatisfaction. And your signature, your gift from life that is your right to experience in every moment is satisfaction. Deep satisfaction. It's an orgasmic energy inside of you because we talk about the sacral center. This is the sexual center. This is the availability to connect. This is the availability to respond to life. This is the availability to generate energy. Okay? So you are attracting, you're a magnet for the things. Everybody comes. Everything comes to you. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to initiate. You don't need to run after them. And I guess you already figured this out. I mean, if you run after money, money will not be there. If you run after love, love will just go and disappear. So it's really about waiting. So I ask you, can you wait? Can you literally just sit down and wait and not be busy and run around like a chicken without a head? Always being busy, 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 busy. You're so busy you don't even notice that you're busy. Too busy to fuck. So busy. Can you do this, darling? Oh, I'm too busy. Oh, we have a problem here. Can you help? Oh, I'm too busy. Busy, busy, busy. And it's okay to be busy. Yeah, I know. But do you even know what you're busy with? Did you respond to be busy? Or did you just do it because your mind told you if you wouldn't do it, the harmony will go down? And you will feel bad because the emotions will rise that you don't like, and you want harmony and you want peace and you want calmness and all of those things you seek. Because if you do with your mind, if you just be busy with just for the activity's sake, you waste all of your energy. And you will not have the energy for the moments where the opportunities arise in front of you where you would need the energy that you just wasted. Okay. And I know you're a generator. You want to know who you are, It's about me, 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 me. This is your mode. This is your genetic truth. Who am I is every cell of you asking all the time. And you can only find out who you are by being asked by life. That means somebody comes your way and says, do you like red? And you go, uh-huh. So that means red is something you really like, and this is something you can identify with. If somebody asks you, would you like to bake bread? And you go, you I don't think you would be a baker in that moment. Because if you don't like baking bread, this job is already not something you can qualify for. If somebody asks, would you like to go to the ocean? That means maybe this place, this area, the ocean can be a place where you meet the right people, the right opportunities. Maybe it's part of your life destiny, of your path, of your purpose. But you can only get there by being asked. You need yes-no questions. You cannot just initiate from the mind. If you do, you will have a life full of frustration. You feel stuck. You feel lethargic. Nothing works. Everything is hard. You need to struggle for the wrong things. You will be distracted by all the things that are not correct for you, and you will waste your energy, and you will be exhausted, and you will have burnouts and all of this stuff. You will get sick even. It goes so far that you suddenly have issues with your heart. Or you will have issues with your gallbladder, or you will have issues with your immune system. All those things. But if you respond to life, you cannot do the wrong thing. And it's about being radical. There's no half pregnant in human design. You either do it or you don't. If you really want to be satisfied in life, if you really want to have correct sex in life, if you really want to have and experience real love in life, if you really want to be correct with the people around you and respect them who you are, and if you really want to be respected as who you are, the only way is to wait, sit down and wait, shut up and wait until you respond. And obviously you can respond to everything, but in the beginning, to really connect again to your sacral, what is usually lost over the decades of life you already lived, because these sounds are not welcome in our society. We sit at the table with our parents and you go, and the father says, can you please shut up? This is not nice that you do this. You can speak, you can say you like it, but don't make these grunts and moans. We really lost this as humans, especially generators. And you are a manifesting generator, and you are a true manifesting generator. And I say this because you have a connection from the sacral center. You can see this in the chart. The sacral center is the second from the bottom, and it connects on the left side through gate 34 to your throat to gate 20. So there's this energy that right away goes into the throat to go into action. Okay? So you're so fast. Your response can be so fast that there is not always an or those are the two things, the vocal humming grunt sounds that can come out of the sacral. Sometimes you can observe that you just move, your body will just move because you have a yes. So the principle for you is really, as a manifesting generator, about doing what you love and love what you do. On respond. Would you like to make me a coffee? And maybe you don't have but maybe you make this weird face of like, a little thing comes out of you. And most of the time, in a millisecond, your body jumps up and already is doing it before you even realize mentally that you do it, that you are already in the action of doing it. So yes, you have a great doing capacity. But if you just do without being asked, you lose all the energy you have. So you need to learn to sit with the energy. And that's not easy. Because there's so much energy inside of you that wants to be lived out, that wants to be moved, that wants to be manifested. But save it up. Be wise. There's this great story of the manifesting generator in an old Western movie. I watched those movies with my grandfather. I can remember it was always nice to watch that with him. Even though I don't like that genre so much, but it was nice to watch it with him. And usually you have a villain like the bandit, and you have somebody who's the sheriff. This is the kind of hero, so to say. You are that person. You're the hero. So you sit in your chair, in your rocking chair, and you just are relaxed. You wait because you realize you're a manifesting generator. You have an immense power, but you don't always need to display your power for the sake of it. You should display it in the moment where you really need to be, where you really need it, right? So you rock on your chair and somebody comes, oh, Sheriff, there's a bandit coming. He's like 2 kilometers far away from us. He's coming. Please do something. And instead of going crazy and going into your mental mode of what should we do and can we do this and blah, 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 and or hoping that everything is fine or whatever the case may be, you just say, yeah, thanks for informing. Thank you. Everything is fine. I will take care of it. And you do nothing. You wait more because it was not a question. Somebody, and other people come again and again, and you just say, it's all fine. I will have it. I own the situation. I take the accountability. I take the responsibility. Don't worry. And then the bandit comes. And the bandit stands in front of you. And in you're faster than your shadow, you jump up, you draw your gun, and you shoot him down. But you waited for the right moment. And not wasted all the energy before running around trying to do things that are not necessary. You waited until the last moment, in the now, to respond to the situation of life. And then you go back to your chair and you feel very satisfied. And people saw your power and really liked it and recognized you for this and pat you on the shoulder and say, wow, great job, well done. Okay? This is what it means to be a manifesting generator. You have immense power, but this power should be used for the common good. It should be used in the right moment. Anyway, I also see that there's some dilemmas. Yes, you have great power, but as I said, you're always in the mind. You're conditioned. Everybody who is in your aura conditions you, and everybody will be conditioned by you, obviously. So let's say you have a kid that is only be active when you are around. Yeah, it's because you bring this energy. And this child doesn't have this on its own. And then you try to make the child or your partner or your friend to become like you because you think this is the right thing to do. You should, I don't know, do this and that. No, it's not true. You are a unique person. Your chemistry of your body is unique. And everybody else's is unique too. Okay? So where do I see a dilemma? You can see that you have a lot of centers colored in. This is called definition. And when you look to the bottom center, all the way on the bottom, there's the root center. And the root center is connected to the splenic center on the left side. And then you see the other 5 centers. On the top, there's the ajna center connected to the throat. And then when you go down to this diamond in the middle, this is the chi center, or the identity center. And then on the right side, this little triangle is the ego, heart center, and then the sacral center. Those 5 centers, if you look closely, they are connected with each other through these lines that are called channels. So those channels that are life force, this life force is flowing here, connects those 5 centers. But your root and your splenic center are not connected with those others. So you have a split. And when you have a split, your mind goes, I want to bridge that split. And where can this split be bridged? It can be bridged by gate 44 from the splenic center. On the left side, you say gate 44 or gate 57. Those 2 gates can bridge those 2 departments with each other. Okay. So obviously it's gate 44 and gate 57 that has a big topic in your life that is almost like a bright spot that your mind is focused on, and it says, I want that, I need that, if I have that, then I won't have any more problems. If I can be that, then I will finally be whole and complete. And this can lead to a feeling of inner incompleteness to have this split or being divided in 2. I know a lot of people who have split definitions, and they feel a bit like they have 2 personalities, Sometimes they're like this and sometimes they're like that. So people with a split definition often unconsciously look for ways to connect these separate definition groups, which can be done through relationships, like with other people, or through the planetary weather. Now, this is something you can investigate for yourself if it's interesting. But let's look at these gates. What you really want. What your whole focus in your whole life since the beginning. Gate 44 is called coming to meet, the gate of alertness. The success of any interaction is based on the absence of any preconditions. Here we have the fear of the past. So your mind says, if we could escape the past, we would have harmony. Or it says, if we could recognize talents and potential of others, we would finally get rid of all the mental pressure and questions we have. Or it says, we need to be more instinctive. We need to handle others skillfully. If I can just handle the ego of others a bit better, then everything would be more beautiful. And 57, that what can also be the focus, is the gate of the intuitive clarity, the Chanto. It's the extraordinary power of clarity that you want to have, but you don't have it. You want to be it, but you are not. Okay. So here you want to escape the fear of the future. So you have the fear of the past and the fear of the future, and you want to escape that, and your whole life is based on that. Maybe you wrote books about that, because you can be wise about those topics, but you're not here to live them out. Okay, so maybe you want to be deeply intuitive for survival. Maybe you want to be an archetype, a survivalist. Maybe you want to be a transmitter for the tribe who is creatively selling things and goods instinctively in the now to have a better future. But this is not you. This is not you. So your mind ultimately says, if I can handle the potentials and egos of others intuitively in the now, I can create harmony and feel better in myself. Well, this is not your job. This is not your job. And then it continues because you have open centers too. It's not just a split. The split is the most priority, of course, yeah, and you can investigate much more into this and maybe contemplate about those two things that I just told you. But there's also the openness. And you have a completely open head center. It's on top, this triangle. It's completely open. There's nothing in here that gives you some idea of how to handle the energy of this. Okay? The head center is about answering questions or asking questions. It's about inspiration. It's about mental pressure. It's about confusion and doubt. Okay? And you don't know what's interesting. All your life you're looking for some stuff that is interesting. Is it interesting? It could be interesting. Do you think it's interesting? The pressure that is mentally inside you to answer questions comes from the outside. It's not even your pressure. It's not even your questions. But this pressure can make you lose sleep, make you constantly want to investigate or answer everything. Why? And maybe you run from one seminar to the next because you think you will finally get the answers to your questions there. But your openness is there to experience all kinds of inspiration without knowing the answer. Being inspired means you don't necessarily need to know the answer. It's like, that's interesting. But you don't know what's interesting. Because all of the stuff comes from the outside and you just are here to see it. The questions inside of you are not your own. So, are there any questions? When you answer those questions, does the pressure stop?